Good evening, everybody. Thanks for joining us for our Nikken University Book Club. The Answer. We are reading John Assaraf's book that is life-changing. I hope it changes your life. It's going to change mine. So I hope you're going into this experience with that intention that this will be a life-changing experience for you because it should be. Otherwise, you should be doing something else. You really should. Go do something else. But if it's going to be life-changing for you, then stick around. We are looking at the idea of how can I access unlimited abundance and who wouldn't want that, regardless of what it is for you. And you get to decide. No one else makes that choice for you. You decide what that is, and it can be exactly what you want. We're going to be reviewing Chapter 3, The Law of Attraction, tonight. Last two times, we spent time reviewing Chapter 2, The Search for How the World Works. And I'm just curious if anybody spent more time on the homework this last week. And during this past week, was there a belief you worked on reframing? That was the homework from last week as well. Was there a belief about how the world works, how your life works, that you spent time reframing during the past week? Anybody have an example they want to share with the whole group before we get going? Gloria.
Yeah, the old saying, money doesn't grow on trees. It's easy to think about. I've always lived where there were forests, but I also know that trees never stop growing. And so I reframed it as trees never stop growing, and neither does my Nikken income.
That's awesome. That's a great way to look at it. They're actually, although we hear about deforestation all the time, in developing countries, there's more forested land now than ever. In North America and Canada, in the United States, and Europe, there's more forested land now than ever. As developing countries are able to care more for their environments, they do. And so that's been a good result. Now, obviously, that's not the case everywhere, and we have more work to do. But there is plenty to go around, and that's true for trees. That's true for money. I love the way that you frame that, Gloria. Dr. Karen, Dr. Willems.
I was having a hard time reframing. I can visualize, okay? I can feel, I can add the emotions. I was having trouble connecting something. As I was reading it this morning, I realized that I was having a hard time connecting the intangible with the tangible. And what I saw was because I've got a scientific background, okay? And what I saw was the atom. Basically, what we're doing, and this is my reframing, is we are calling in those atoms to rearrange so that we can have the life that we want, so that we can create what we want. And all of a sudden, it was very clear to me that all I had to do was rearrange my atoms to bring in. I know that sounds funny, but that's exactly, I had this flash, and it's like, just rearrange the atoms so that you're bringing in exactly what you want.
Yeah, when you tidy up the living room or redecorate it, you're rearranging atoms. When you
Exactly.
call someone on the telephone, you create a vibration with your voice that moves sound through the air, and it creates waves that are then interpreted by the eardrum. Your vibrations in your mouth are picked up as vibrations by someone's ear. You're moving atoms. So
Mm-hmm.
we don't want to move less atoms. We want to move more atoms.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really cool way to look at it.
It was
And
that simple.
one way to move atoms is with our hands or with our voice or with our thoughts, as we are discovering. I left my friend's house the other night and he never offers me something for the road. I know there are people who are like, do you want a bottle of water for the road, right? There are people who are like that. It's like when you leave their house, they offer you a bottle of water to take with you. He's never ever done that. I've never thought about it. I've never been thirsty leaving his place. And so as I walked out, all of a sudden I'm like, I saw his bottles of water on the counter. I thought, I'm kind of thirsty. And immediately he said, do you want a bottle of water?
That's happened to me a lot lately. It's like immediate. But, so now when I find myself saying, okay, I'd like this, I basically call in the atoms and I say, okay, atoms, time to rearrange yourself so that this happens. Because I've known about law of attraction. I've studied law of attraction. We've studied it. And it's like it just wasn't happening for me. So now I think about it, and if it's something bigger, then I just ask those atoms to start lining up, and it's happening.
It might require your hands, it might require your voice, it might require your thoughts, it probably will require all three. But
Yeah.
I think we're learning that it's not an either or situation. And if the universe is made of atoms, which are made at their core of energy, and even deeper than that, this nanosphere, this zone, information zone that's even below that, that is pure potential and probability. It may be that we want to use our thoughts as energy more than we might have in the past. So hopefully you had some great experiences this past week reframing. Continue to do that. Think about beliefs that you want to reframe as we read through the book. Some other ideas we discussed in chapter 2, of course, was the box. And John Assaraf discovered through the box that thought precedes the thing. That was his exact experience that set him on this chase, because he found that on his life cycle plan, the thought became the thing, the home that he actually purchased when he had his family move to San Diego. Our thoughts are energy. Einstein discovered that everything is energy, and that's all there is to it, that energy is at the core, the base of everything. And if thoughts are energy, then energy creates everything. And our thoughts create everything. The secret to success then lies in controlling our thoughts. So let's review quickly chapter 3, the law of attraction. So we're going to start this evening because there were some really cool ideas and concepts in this book. And rather than me just simply reviewing them, I want us to have a group discussion. So I'm going to be putting you into small groups of 3 to start out, and then we will review the basic ideas of the chapter. But what was an idea that really resonated with you from chapter 3? So out of the different sections, and if you want to pull out the book so you have it right with you, and if you want to go to chapter 3, was there a concept, one of the 3 laws, law of attraction, law of gestation, law of action, one of those 3 laws, or one of the multiple concepts that were within the law of attraction section, or the last section on the law of focus and clarity, or the idea of focus and clarity. But in your group, spend some time allowing each person to share some of their thoughts and ideas. So we're going to be in groups of 3. I'll let you know when we'll start with 6 minutes. I'll let you know when there's 4 minutes left and then when there's 2 minutes left. So you don't have to go person, person, person. It can be more conversational, but I'll kind of let you keep track of the time just so if you do want to, oh, I've spoken for 2 minutes. It's time to, wow, look at my face got frozen. That was a horrible expression. If you do want to make sure that everybody gets some chances to share, just kind of pay attention to the time as I send. So choose an idea concept that really resonated with you. 6 minutes for everybody to share. Take maybe 2 minutes to share the concept, and I will give you heads up when 4 minutes are left and when 2 minutes are left. So go ahead and join your room and have your discussion. Again, you are talking about an idea from this chapter that really resonated with you. Go ahead and join your room.
Open them up.
So I've sent everybody off to their room to have a conversation, and they're going to talk about an idea specifically that resonated with him. If you did read chapter 3, you might want to think about those areas that are in the chapter that did resonate with you. This was a really cool chapter. It went through some three very important laws, starting with the law of attraction. The idea that I really liked actually comes at the very beginning of the chapter, Law of Attraction. Shirley, I'm going to add you to a room so you have people to work with. So just join when you see the prompt. So the idea that I enjoyed right at the beginning of the chapter, Law of Attraction, is this idea of the iceberg, and we're actually going to talk about it when I go through and explain the book. Um, but this idea that really the universe, is vast, as we all know, but in terms of what we actually see or connect with in terms of reality, it's a very small portion. It's just the tip of the iceberg. And what actually is out there is much deeper and more vast than we can imagine, everything that's underneath the water. But this is also true in terms of the nature of reality itself, because the way that atoms exist, they're mostly empty space. And actually, most of what exists are these vibrations, this energy that exists at a subatomic level. That's kind of this vast field of information, and that is literally waiting to be observed or, decided upon, called into action to become something, to become whatever is decided for it. And so that was a concept that I really liked at the very beginning of um, the chapter. Some other concepts you might remember: everything starts as an idea, which we've covered, this idea of cause and effect and how important that is. It's really important for taking responsibility, that everything is preceded by some kind of a cause, and preventing ourselves from thinking, oh, I just live in a world where there are no causes, there are only effects, and I'm just acted upon constantly. This idea of resonance, of vibration, and how we need to get in tune and be able to see the patterns that exist everywhere, and benefiting from that idea of making ourselves in tune with the patterns that surround us. Law of gestation, law of action, clarity and focus. So a lot of great concepts in this chapter. But consider the idea that was most interesting to you and why. That's what people are doing in their rooms right now. They'll be back with us in about 2 more minutes. Then we'll continue. Welcome back. Welcome back, everybody. Some of the groups did have for people, if there is somebody who didn't have a chance to share in your group, who wants to share an idea, something that really resonated with you from this chapter, anybody didn't not get a chance to share? Sometimes those groups of four go a little more quickly. Sue?
Well, Dee was in the
Yeah.
middle of saying something, and I want to hear her finish her thought.
Dee, will you
Yeah.
finish for us?
Finish your thought, Dee. Unmute. Unmute. You're muted.
It was a sentence, now I probably can't find it, that I had read that was, it was the sentence, "You must be practiced at creating the thoughts that will serve your business." So again, it's sort of what we were all saying in our group. It's it's our thoughts that are so powerful. Whichever way we take those thoughts, oh, it's not going to work, or I can't do this, or yes, I can. This is going to happen. I don't think we always know the power we have.
Yeah, if the thought is there's no way this is going to work, there's no way this can happen, you're done. You're done. That's if you have grandkids or a teenager, you see, you're done. That's a phrase they use. But it's over. It's over for you. If you have that thought, it's not going to happen. It's never ever. You just said it. You just said that it's not going to happen. So this can't happen, or I can't make this, or I don't have the tools. That kind of thinking absolutely stops the whole process of the hands moving or the mouth moving or the thoughts moving. It's really detrimental. Dr. Willens.
So in my group, I was telling everybody how it came to be. You may have seen the picture on WhatsApp of Jeannie and I at the fair. And so I was in the middle of my story, so I wanted to finish that for Bob. But what happened was I was thinking Jeannie and Ricky had a hard time. It's a very long, grueling day. It's like 12 hours and it's 11 days in a row. And that's after a flight. And then they've got a flight home. And it was really hard on them last year. They didn't have the waterfall. All they had was their water bottles. And the water bottles, while they're great for traveling, for grueling days like that, it gets to be hard. So I was thinking, I wish I had an extra waterfall. I bring it over to them. And Jean said, an extra waterfall, but I don't know how to get it there. I'm going to take something else. We're going to be there for 2 weeks. And my wheels start going, and I just kept going with that thought. And she shipped the waterfall to me. I had a filter and stones here. And I put it together, took it over to them, and they're holding up a whole lot better this year.
Dr. Willens, thank you. I stopped your video so you had more bandwidth and your voice would come through more clearly. So you may want to.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Jeff.
But there you go. Being solution oriented, being someone who looks for ways for things to happen and thinking in that way, you're much more likely to make those things happen. So thank you for doing the exercise with your group. Chapter 3, the law of attraction. The universe is a big place and it's a universe of laws. There are laws we've discovered. There are principles upon which the universe acts and operates, and we're learning more and more about those. Certainly we have over the past several thousand years as discoveries are constantly made. And the universe is a really big place. And we actually don't see very much of it at all. And there's a concept, and this was my favorite concept from the whole chapter 3, is that we really only see when it comes to reality, when it comes to the universe, when it comes to everything that there is, we only see the tip of the iceberg. We only see a tiny, tiny portion of what exists. If you think of how much of the world you see right now, just look around you, look behind you and up and down, you see a very tiny, minute fraction of your city sitting there in your room, and an even smaller fraction of your state, province, the planet, the universe, right? We don't even come near to seeing all the possibilities that do exist. But you then need to include this concept, and it's brought back up here again, this concept of the 0 point field, this place of just information that kind of vibrates under the surface of everything. It's just pure energy, and it's matter that isn't anything yet. So it's not even matter yet. It's just information or consciousness that exists. And that's part of this massive amount of everything that exists underneath the surface. And really, it just is pure potential or pure possibility. And that's what we want to access, this 0 point field, this place of consciousness, of information, the quantum field of infinite potential influenced by thought. And we access all of that hidden, invisible potential possibility through energy. Once again, Albert Einstein, energy is everything, and that's all there is to it. This is straight out of chapter 3. Everything in the physical world is made of atoms. Atoms are made out of energy, and energy is made out of consciousness. So thoughts are energy, and it's a really important idea to understand that our thoughts, literally, because they are energy, they can influence, they can affect everything that's underneath the tip of the iceberg. All of those things we don't see necessarily that we want to bring forth. So, three laws that work together that are discussed in the book. The first law, excuse me, in the chapter, the first law is the law of attraction. Everything starts as an idea, is the foundation for this law. Isaac Newton is the one who shared the concept of cause and effect. And this is a really important concept to take in, that if we truly are going to benefit from the law of attraction, that we realize that cause and effect operates, that it does exist in the world, and that we can be the cause. We don't want to just be acted upon. We want to be the cause, in the cause and effect. That requires that we become practiced. In order to be the cause, we have to be practiced at creating the thoughts that will serve our business, and I put in parentheses, or our life. So we want to make sure that we take advantage of the law of attraction by utilizing this idea of cause and effect. Because we are the cause, we want to make sure that we are the cause in the right way. And I almost wondered if I should put this quote up or not, but here it goes. Downer. I'm gonna be a downer. I am the cause of all my upsets. I am my own worst enemy. Sad but true, right? We are our own worst enemy. We might think that it's somebody else, but it's not. I mean, we're still in victim mode. If it's our spouse or our son or daughter or our next door neighbor, if they are the cause of everything that's bad in our life, then yeah, it's just going to continue, right? But when we can take ownership of the cause and become really practiced at creating the thoughts that will serve our life, that's a really powerful place to be. The idea is also shared in this section, the law of attraction. In addition to you must be the cause of your success, is this idea of resonance or vibrations that exist. And underlying everything that happens in our life, in our experience, there are these patterns that repeat over and over and over again. And it's really powerful in order to be aware of and to see those patterns that happen. The idea, when we become aware of these patterns, especially with our thoughts, and we're having consistent thought patterns that support us, we are then thinking in a way in our mind and our heart that we can then become. James Allen, this quote, as a man thinketh in his heart, so shall he be. And then the final idea within the law of attraction, the dream within a seed. This idea that within an acorn is the beginning, that there is potential, but is the tree within the acorn? Is that beautiful, gorgeous, amazing oak, does it exist within the acorn? And what the chapter tells us is no, it doesn't. That actually that acorn has genetic code, but it has to gather soil and it has to gather air and light and water. That acorn has to gather all of these amazing resources to become eventually what it becomes. It can't do it from just the seed. The seed is not the beautiful oak. The acorn is actually just, it's the thought, it's the germination, it's the idea, but it's the gathering of everything, the synchronicity and putting everything together that takes the acorn into this mighty oak. The second law is the law of gestation. And I think our author, John Assaraf, includes this because he wants us to understand that growth can be hard sometimes. Sometimes it takes struggle. Sometimes it takes tremendous effort. It's not always easy. And we have to be patient. We have to be ready to wait that things might need to line up before something can happen. And so the law of gestation is important to connect to understand, to accept that things don't always happen immediately or within our time frame. That there may be things that need to occur. And then the last law that often people like to ignore, because this is the secret, right? It's the secret. And so you put it on your life cycle plan and it's done. Look, sometimes it happens that way. Sometimes you think, I'm thirsty, I need a bottle of water, and boom, you have water. But sometimes you have to do the asking, or sometimes you got to haul your little rear end to Walmart and pick up the water because that's just what has to happen. But this third law is the law of action. And John Assaraf says, look, sometimes people forget that the law of attraction is also a law of action. So, yes, it might be our mouth, it might be our hands. We might have to pick up a shovel and start digging. It might be our thoughts. It's probably all three. But watering probably needs to happen during the process, along with weeding and maybe putting a little fence around our plant and doing those things that guard it. The final idea is clarity and focus, and continually focusing, spotlighting those things that matter most as we apply these three laws. So those are the basic ideas in chapter 3, Law of Attraction. A really good chapter, worth rereading if you have time this week. I want us to have one final discussion before we quit tonight. It'll be a discussion of about 6 minutes. But what is an action you will take this week based on something you learned from chapter 3? So think about the major ideas that we just reviewed or that you need to talk about in your group of 3 that you did talk about in your group of 3, and think about how you will act on one of the ideas you learned. So it might be learning to be more patient. It might be searching for patterns that are happening in your life that you need to pay more attention to. It might be making the choice to take more action, more often. I don't know how many of you are doing the daily power hour. Hopefully everybody. Hopefully you're teaching it to members of your team as well. But think about something you learned from this chapter, have a group discussion. How will you apply what you learned this week? So the homework is not going to be the same for everybody. It's going to be to apply what you learned, and it should be something that you can do, something that's practical. So I'll put you into new groups. You're going to be in groups of 3. And with your new group, allow each person about 2 minutes. Once again, I'll let you know how much time is left, but it can be kind of a discussion as well. You'll have 6 minutes in total to talk about how you will take action on what you learned this week. And Sherry, you are right. We get water straight out of the waterfall or a sport bottle. Thanks, Sherry. So go ahead and join your room and share with your group. Gail, I just added you to room 1. There you go. So what am I going to apply this week from the chapter? I think I'm going to take my favorite idea, which focused on the idea of the iceberg, and I'm going to I'm going to find a picture of an iceberg on the internet that I can print out. So let's go ahead and do that now. Tip of the iceberg. You know, I probably should just take the image that's directly on my PowerPoint because I really like the way that image looks. In fact, that's what I'm going to do. So I just found the same image again. I'm going to download that image of the tip of the iceberg and I'm going to print it out. And what I'm going to do this week, I'm going to put it someplace where I will see it every day, is as I look at the image of the iceberg, I'm going to consider the idea of what may exist, what may be currently hidden from my view that could serve as a resource or a tool or an asset or an assistance, something that could help me as I work towards and move towards my major goals. And I think that'll be something that will be really fun and interesting to do. I'm going to send a message that there are 4 minutes left. We're letting each person have about 2 minutes. So I found the image. I'll show it to you in just a second after I've sent the message. Mary, how are you?
Fine, just got out of my other meeting.
Do you want to join a room? They're doing the last exercise where they're talking about a concept from the book that they're going to apply this week, that they're going to take action on. If you want to join a room, I can put you in
Sure.
with the group. Okay.
Sure, sounds good.
I'll have you join a group,
Thanks.
and then you can just choose to share whatever you'd like as you listen to them sharing.
Okay.
Okay. So this is the image. It's really nice. I really like that image. It looks great. So I will look at the image and then I'm going to consider, you know, an iceberg is huge, but I don't see most of it. Most of it is hidden from me. In the same way that most of reality is hidden from me. I don't really see certainly not all of the universe, but I don't even see all of the reality. I don't see the inside of this table. My table is very solid wood, and I don't see the interior. So there are a lot of things that are hidden from view that perhaps I could take advantage of through, as I've been mentioning in the call, through my words, through my hands, through my thoughts. Um, and maybe particularly through my thoughts, if I just thought more about them. What are the things that I want to happen? What are the processes, systems I need to make those things happen? I think that actually could be very exciting. There's 2 minutes left for the groups. So do that for yourself. Just review the concepts that we talked about in chapter 3, those major concepts, and then select for yourself a concept that you will act on. Decide what is an action that I am going to take this week. What might I do this week based on something that I learned, and what's the action that I will take as a result of that? And that possibly could be quite powerful for you. That's going to be the homework to complete the self-identified action from the group discussion, or that you have come up with as you have been sitting here and listening and thinking about it. So 1 more minute and everybody's going to be back with us, and then we'll finish our book club for Wednesday evening, August 6th, chapter 3. Chapter 4 will be next week. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for coming back. I know you didn't have a choice in the matter. So, and thank you for sharing the action. It's individual, right? Everybody has their own action. Hopefully, you came up with one that works effectively for you. And if you want to steal from somebody in your group, that's okay. Or you can do two. It's not limited. I printed this off while you were gone. And what I'm going to do is post this someplace where I can look at it each day. And I'm going to consider what are the potential resources or people or tools or opportunities or trips or knowledge or books. What are the things that I'm unaware of that are invisible to me right now? That if I just connected with those ideas or those people or those concepts or those resources, those tools, it would move me, it would accelerate me as I work towards achieving my goals and the things I want to have in my life, the results I'm looking for, whether in Nikken or in my personal life, in my physical health, whatever it might be. So I'm going to spend 2 to 3 minutes, not a huge amount of time, but during those 2 to 3 minutes, I'm going to look at my image. And that's the action that I'm going to take to try and take advantage of one of the concepts. Sue, I'm going to take my exam at 10:30 p.m. That's when it's scheduled. Barbara.
I just wanted, I guess Sue's already addressed it. I wanted to wish you the very best in your exam. I didn't know if it was earlier today or
Yeah, I
when.
was supposed to take it at 9:10 p.m. and I rescheduled it for 10:30 so I can study for it a little bit more. There is so much content they expect you to know in these master's programs. It's ridiculous. There's about 20 researchers whose work I have to be familiar with for this one single class and all of their different models for approaching change.
You got it.
Innovation.
You got it,
exactly.
You know
The
it.
Yeah.
potential.
Better go.
Well,
You're
thank you.
doing
I'll
great.
let
big
you
You
know
got
how it goes next week.
it.
Okay.
And
So,
look at all these positive people behind you, Jeff. You can't do
yes,
anything
yes.
but ace it.
I know you're
Jeff,
all
Pass
positive.
it mainly. Second
Yes, send
first and
positive
second
thoughts
We
for the
believe
next
in you.
2 or 3 hours
absolutely.
Yeah,
We
you
will.
got it,
got it.
Jeff.
that it's
We
going to
believe in you.
happen. Thanks, everybody. So,
Jeff, law of attraction.
thank you.
You're already
Remember,
there.
thank you.
Yeah, look at this.
Remember, how can I access unlimited abundance? That is the purpose of this course. That's the purpose of this class.
Yeah.
We are probably not going to finish in 30 minutes each week. I think that's just not going to happen. So I'm changing the class to 45 minutes long. I hope that can still fit with your schedule. So it'll be 5:30 p.m. Pacific time until 6:15 p.m. Pacific time. We won't go longer than 45 minutes, but the last three classes have been 45 minutes. And I don't think we can properly address the content of the book, have our discussions, review homework, and do the things necessary in order to give the book justice. So that will be the new length of the class. Remember to do your homework this week. Complete your self-identified action. I'm going to do the image reflection and do whatever action and share with us. It'll be really exciting to see what everybody gets out of the action they chose to implement this week based on what they learned from the chapter 3. So next week, next Wednesday, same time, 5:30 p.m., right after brand night, and we're going to review chapter 4, the universe inside your brain. That's going to be fun. And remember to do your homework. Thanks everybody for joining us tonight for our Nikken University book club. We'll see
Jeff,
you.
may I ask something, please? It's Bela.
Bela.
Would you mind putting the slides up for a fraction of a second more?
Which slide?
The slides you show each time. You kind of flash them on the screen and then they're gone.
Yes, I can show them for longer, and I also,
Yes, please.
you want me to share them after we're done?
Yeah, that would be awesome because I sit here taking screenshots and then I
Don't
missed some
take
because
screenshots.
by the time I'm ready to take the next one, you've already taken the slide away.
Well, you also can watch the
Recording.
you also
I
can
know,
watch the
I just don't
recording.
have
That's 30
time.
minutes, right?
I'm in
So
too many courses, so I just
yeah,
don't have time to
sure,
redo
Bela.
that.
I will share the PDF And I'll
Thank
make
you.
an effort to show each slide more slowly in case you do want to take screenshots of
Thank you
specific.
kindly. But if you share them, I won't need to.
Okay, sounds good. So I will make it a habit along with the recording to also share the PDF of all the slides that were shared.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Anna, did you have a
Thanks, Jen.
comment?
Well, I have a question. I don't know how to find you on WhatsApp. So how do I go about doing that? What name is it under? Is it, I tried
you-
Nikken.
Yeah, are you on WhatsApp?
I am.
Have you joined Core Consultant?
No.
That's what you want to join as Core Consultant. Who
From
is
your personal web page, you can do it. Under your profile, there's a little thing says, "Do you want to join WhatsApp?" And you just toggle the button to yes.
Okay. So go into my the Nikken web page.
Well, that
Your
will
own
allow
personal.
customers to contact you through the WhatsApp, but it won't necessarily add
No,
you
it does. I did
to Core
it.
Consultant. It
I
adds
did
you
it.
automatically to
We're in Car Consultants and you're welcome. We'll look for you.
and Anna, just in case, who is your sponsor?
Sherry.
Danzig?
Yeah.
Oh, Sherry, will you help Anna get on Core Consultant on WhatsApp? Where did Sherry go? She left.
She will.
I'll contact her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
ask Sherry to help you to get on
I
Core
but she
Consultant.
wasn't sure what I needed to look for. She said Nikken, and I tried that, and I'm like, I'm not finding it. So Core Consultant.
Yeah, Core Consultant is where I post, either Core Consultant or the Telegram channel is where I post the recordings and with Bela's
Yeah,
request.
I tried to find you in Telegram too, so I didn't know. So is that under Core Consultant also?
I put everything under Core Consultant. Anything
It's-
that I communicate to the field is under
It's
Core Consultant.
on WhatsApp, it's listed Nikken Core Consultant.
Okay.
Yeah, search
All
for
right.
Ken Core
I'll see
Consultant.
if I can find it. Thank
Yeah,
you.
one last thing. Remember, Thursday, tomorrow night, we have a training by Ali Susumi at 6 p.m. Pacific. Entrepreneurs Being More. Ali is training us on artificial intelligence and how to use it in direct selling or network marketing. So we'll see everybody tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Do not miss it. Ali Susumi and a fantastic training.
So
Good night,
excited.
everybody. Thanks for
Good
joining
night.
us.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Good luck.